نحمده ونستعين ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونصلي ونسلم على خاتم الرسل وأفضل الخلق محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وأصحابه أفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم. All thanks and gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one and only true God. We all bear witness that there's no one worthy of worship but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we truly bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu is his final prophets. May Allah grant salah and salam, forgiveness and mercy on our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu on his family, his companions, and his followers at the Day of Judgment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatihi wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. O those who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fear Allah and worship Him, the worship that He deserves, and do not die except as a Muslim. Truly, whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides, no one can lead astray. And truly, whomever Allah leads astray, no one can guide back to the right path. Jummah is a reminder for myself, first of all, and then for my brothers and elders and sisters. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides us to the right path. And we are still in month of Rabi'ah al-Awwal. We're still talking around three main incidents in the Muslim calendar. Today we're going to focus on one incident, which is the Hijrah, the migration of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu and his companions from Mecca to Medina. I know last time I went through it very briefly. Today, inshallah, I'll try to expand a bit upon it, inshallah. So, roughly around the year, around maybe 9, 10 Hijri, roughly around that time, a major incident happened. The Prophet's wife died and his uncle, he was not a Muslim, his wife was a Muslim, of course, Sayyidah Khadijah. His uncle, Abu Talib, was not a Muslim. However, he was the head of tribe of Bani Hashim, one of the most powerful tribes in Mecca, effectively the de facto leader of Mecca. And he supported Sayyidina Muhammad since he was young. He reared Sayyidina Muhammad and he supported him even though he refused to believe in Islam. And his death was a very major blow to the Islamic community in general. They lost the umbrella that they were given. And of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to raise the morale of Sayyidina Muhammad and to elevate him to the Isra and Mi'raj. We all know about the journey that he took to al-Aqsa and the journey that he took later on to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the skies. And then what happens? Then there's no umbrella. The torture and the harm that befell upon the Muslims in Mecca was tenfold. The Prophet was during the first, say, 10 years or so, he was shielded. Those that harmed him were aristocrats, like the heads of. No one below that can touch the Prophet. And they did it with some red lines. They can't cross certain red lines. With Abu Talib's death, all that went away. Anyone can insult the Prophet to the extent that as he was doing sujood, a man went and took the intestines of a sheep and he strangled the Prophet as he was doing sujood. Another instance, they took the dung from cattle and they threw it upon him as he was doing sujood. And the Prophet ﷺ was threatened, his life was threatened, so he left Mecca to go to Ta'if. In the Ta'if, they even treated him worse. They edged the slaves and the children and the servants to pelt the Prophet ﷺ, stone him with stones until his feet bled. He bled from all over. So Sayyidina Muhammad realized, as the head of the Muslim nation, that Mecca is not a place where the Islam will flourish. It just didn't want to happen. So the logical or the next step is to find a place where Islam can can flourish and can at least have a protection umbrella from anyone, from any enemy of Islam. So every Hajj, he used to Hajj was similar to now, but it was more tribal. So every tribe used to come in and perform Hajj, different from what we do right now, but tribes from all over Arabia, and he would speak to every tribe. Roughly around the 11th year of the Nubuwwah, after he became a prophet, he met a group of people from Yathrib, a city, a village between Mecca, what we know as Medina now. They were doing Hajj, just a group of people. He invited them to Islam. They liked Islam. Very, very small number, not a handful. And then they went back. They went back to Yathrib. Now, these handful of Muslims didn't sit still. They came in the next year with 12 of influential people in Medina. And they did a treaty or a pledge. That was on the 12th year of the Hijrah. And let's make sure I've got my, yes, 12th year of the Hijrah. And the pledge was, we will believe in Allah. We won't steal. We won't fornicate. We won't murder. That's it. There is no charity, no fighting, nothing at all. Just good deeds. We do that. What do we get in return? Jannah. Simple. It's a pledge. So Muhammad guaranteed it. You do these things, you go to Jannah. That's it. Those 12 Muslims returned, and Sayyidina Muhammad sent with them one of his companions, a youth called Mus'ab ibn Umayr. Within 1 year, 70 of the heads of Yathrib, following Hajj, pledged to join Islam. And they came to Sayyidina Muhammad, this time with a different pledge. We call this the second, it was in a place called Aqaba, called the second Aqaba pledge. Bayat al-Aqaba Thaniya. That's the 13th Hijri. And they said, on top of everything we agreed upon, we will give charity and we will protect you. And anyone you send to us, and you will see the scene when the Prophet ﷺ arrives to Medina, how they received him. Again, the same pledge. You do this, guaranteed heaven. You protect the Prophet. Anyone that migrates from Mecca, you accept him, protect him. In return, heaven. That's it. And that was called Bayat al-Aqaba Thaniya. After that, after they pledged that, there was an immediate call to all Muslims in Mecca to flee, go to Medina. And in several waves, some of the Muslims went alone, some of them went with their family, some of them went in groups, like Sayyidina Umar al-Khattab. He went and spoke to Mecca and said, anyone that wants to have his wife widowed or have his children orphaned, try and prevent me from doing migration to Medina. As he went with about 12 or thereabouts Muslims with him. And in waves, and they left everything. They left their houses, they left their money. So there was one companion, he was a blacksmith. I've forgotten his name. It'll come to me. He was very rich. He was a blacksmith. Of course, imagine blacksmith, someone who anything was and everything, war and even utilities were done by a blacksmith. So he was relatively well off. They said, no. You made all this money from us. He gave you this money. Of course, it makes no sense. They bought the stuff of his effort. You're not going to leave with your money and with your tools. You're going to leave Mecca if you want to leave, but you have to leave everything. All your money, everything. Leave it all. I don't care. He left it all and he went to Medina. After Sayyidina Muhammad was satisfied that all his companions, those that could flee, had fled, there's maybe about a handful that were imprisoned, forcibly unable to migrate. Finally, he's satisfied that everyone that can go has gone. Now it's his chance to go. And Sayyidina Muhammad took it upon himself to go to Hijrah Medina. There were two people, or two families that were left. His own family, so Sayyidina Ali, his cousin, he was reared by Sayyidina Muhammad, and he left Sayyidina Ali. The Prophet was, even though they hated him, and even though they tortured him, they still trusted him. He was the trustworthy, and he was the bank of Mecca. So if you had something valuable, you wanted to keep it safe, you went to the Prophet. So they would insult him in the morning, but give him all their valuables to keep it, because they knew that he was someone trustworthy. And truly, when he migrated, he made sure that his cousin, Sayyidina Ali, returned everything back to their owners. And Sayyidina Abu Bakr, Sayyidina Abu Bakr and his family. And they started to migrate to Medina, a journey that takes about 4 weeks from Mecca to Medina. Of course, now it takes, train now it's 2 hours or an hour and a half. If you're driving, it'll take you 5-6 hours. Walking and on camel, it took them between about 4 weeks, a solid month to go from Mecca to Medina. And Sayyidina Muhammad didn't go straight away north. Medina is north of Mecca. He went south first. He went to a mountain called Jabal Thawr, where he hid there for 3 days. And the moment he made the decision and he left his house, that's the same moment that the tribes of Mecca decided, because they've seen everyone migrate, and they were worried, if the Prophet leaves, it's out of our hands now. So let's cut the head of Islam. Let's kill the Prophet. How do we kill him? It's very tribal, feudal. Feudal means that if I kill someone from your family, he'll kill someone from my family, and a feud happens. They don't like feuds. So what do we do? Prophet's still from a strong family. We'll get a youth from every tribe, and every youth will combine to kill the Prophet while he's asleep. That way, his tribe can't fight every single tribe together at the same time. They'll accept money instead. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed Sayyidina Muhammad of what they were doing, and he escaped from them before they killed him, and he went south to to a cave in Jabal Thawr called Ghar Thawr. I'll continue in the next khutbah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي لكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. Ask Allah forgiveness. الحمد لله وكفى وصلاة وسلاما على عبده الذي اصطفى. Always, alhamdulillah, always we thank Allah. We are grateful for what He has blessed us with. Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu went with his companion, with Sayyidina Abu Bakr, and they hid in that cave for 3 days, while there was a bounty on Sayyidina Muhammad, a huge bounty. I don't know what it equates to, but it was in the millions. If we equate the same amount, it's in the millions. A huge amount of money just to capture him, alive or dead. They don't care at that point. And Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu started after 3 days, traveling north until he reached Medina. And he arrived in Medina. He started his journey in the middle of the month of Safar, and he arrived in Rabi'a Awal. And that's the first day of our Hijri calendar. As he arrived and he entered entered Medina, every single household, with their weapons, told the Prophet, welcome to sanctuary and safety. Every single household. So, why do we recall the migration, Hijrah? Every year we speak about the Hijrah. We've been speaking about the Hijrah, Muslims speaking about it for over 1400 years. And we'll still, inshallah, continue talking about it in the next khutbah as well. There is two reasons. There's lots of reasons. I'm just going to highlight two reasons. The first reason is that it's a distinction between truth and between falsehood, a distinction between weakness, between strength, a change from Islam, from being oppressed to standing up to oppression. And Islam completed as a religion in Medina, not in Mecca, meaning as a religion, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us through Sayyidina Muhammad that He does not accept oppression. One of our tenets as a Muslim, that we do not accept oppression on ourselves meaning, by the way, when someone sins, you're not just disobeying Allah, you're causing injustice upon yourself. And at the Day of Judgment, your body itself will start blaming you. Your soul will blame you. Every part of your body is going to blame you on why you dragged yourself to hell. You're causing injustice upon yourself, first of all. And we don't accept injustice on people around us, on Muslims, on neighbors, families, and even non-Muslims. And that is the reason why when Sayyidina Muhammad passed away and Sayyidina Abu Bakr united Arab Peninsula, what did the Muslims do? They looked around them and they saw oppression throughout the whole of the world. Everywhere there was oppression. Every single empire had classes. People were enslaved. People were treated as commodities. And to the extent that many countries used to send messengers to Sayyidina Umar to save them from their rulers. Help us, save us from what they've heard of Islam. For the very first time in history, armies would invade countries, would go into cities and villages, and they wouldn't ravage the village. They wouldn't pillage and burn and kill. In fact, they would leave everyone's property as is. They would protect them for the very first time. That's why Hijrah is important. Because Hijrah is the moment where we were ordered to stop looking at ourselves. Well, not stop, continue looking at ourselves, but start looking wider. And this brings me to the final point of the khutbah, the continuous reminder of an oppression happening right now that we should not be silent for. The death of tens and hundreds daily. It's no longer death of hundreds in a month. Now, every day, hundreds are dying. Hundreds are being sniped and killed. Sniped, just like what we heard happen to an American a few days ago. As horrific as that is, and everyone's in uproar, that's happening right now to children. And we do not accept injustice, regardless of who that person is. No one deserves to be killed for no reason. And most certainly no one deserves to be starved and to have the essentials of your life, food and drink and medicine. You're not allowed to get those. So what can we do? We continue doing dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We continue giving charity. We continue speaking out about it. We continue reminding ourselves and our brothers, it's not a news article that you get bored of and you forget. If those were your children, if those were your brothers and sisters, and they are your children, they are your brothers and sisters, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ. Indeed, believers are brothers and sisters. So it's not from me, it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are brothers and sisters. So your brother's starving, what would you do? You would not eat, you would give him the food in your hands. And that's what we should do. We should remind ourselves continuously that this has not gone away. Give charity, do dua, speak about it. It makes a difference. It makes a difference when you speak about it, when you keep it live, it makes a difference. Allah.